You're listening to Polymatic.media, episode 133 for January 2026. Welcome to the Polymaticast. Hey, John, how's it going?
That's going to be pretty difficult for the first couple of months.
What do you mean?
2026. It's very...
It's already been difficult. And if we compare it to last year, it's still just as bad.
I think 2026 started worse than 2025.
Yeah. At least for the U.S. I don't know about the rest of the world, but in the U.S. it's pretty bad. It's been pretty bad for a long while. Yeah, we all know why. We all know because of who and whom. Yeah.
Yep. I have opinions.
I have many opinions.
Mm-hmm.
But I will not be saying them on record or on recording. So
I have a very good video for you later.
Yeah.
Oy. And Alan needs a new PC. Stat.
Right. Yeah, I've needed since basically I moved in. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was in the move. I think it was before the move. It was starting to be a problem. Either way, I paid off my car. So the enormous amount of money that I was putting in for my first time buying a first-time car, like brand new car. I've had cars in the past. They didn't cost so much. This cost a lot. And I paid it off. And the initial plan was I was immediately going to jump in whatever the new hotness. But I think I'm going to take advantage of not having a car payment. But either way, my existing car has some value, right? Which will be a dent in whatever I do next. But point is, I'm starting to have some cash back in my life where it doesn't go all completely taken away. But given the dynamics of how 2026 is starting out, they're going to take it away anyways. So just out of natural exploitation of being greedy. Somehow they're going to take it all away anyways. So I don't know how much budget planning I have for a new PC, but right now it's looking hopeful that, I can save some money in a few months and I can get myself to a place where I can buy something that is also costs way too much money because they're now not going to be generating good quality GPUs anymore and or memory for normal people.
Or SSDs.
Yeah, okay, that's memory.
It's insane.
Yeah. So that thing that would have cost you $1 will now cost you $1,000.
Yep, basically.
Yeah.
Memory has been going up insanely, and SSDs as well, and GPUs are unavailable, and it's going to be much, much worse over the next couple of months.
It's really just due to the reservation of people who can pay more for other intended purposes. So,
and it's all because of the freaking AI buddies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that out of the way. Have you been playing with Meshtastic?
Yes, I mean, I have 3 nodes. I have the one you gifted me. That one's pretty neat. I bought a... So there's here in the U.S., when you go through the toll booths, the turnpikes or whatever it is, the highways that are, have tolls on them, they have this thing called Easy Pass. And it's a standard, at least on this side of the U.S., has been mostly adopted. So, you put money on a thing and whatever it is. And it's all electronic and digital, and there's no having to, hand cash to people anymore. So they have these little holders for these little transponders. And it's these holders are about the same size as the T1000E. So I thought it would slip into one of the holders. It doesn't. But it has this base plate, and it has suction cups on it. So I grabbed one of those, and I just took a Velcro, strapped it. And so I can stick it to my glass roof in my car. So
you have a car node.
And I got, then what I did is I got an extra long 4-pin magnetic cable on Amazon. And so I've sort of, I have it so it's sort of, it's not permanently, it's magnetically attached and then Velcro strapped to this thing. So right now it's just sort of suction cup to my window. But while I was away, I had it in the car. The thing is, the car is not always it's not providing endless output when the car's off, right?
Uh-huh.
So I had like a portable battery and it worked fine. And so like, okay, so now I have a situation where I could take that thing if I want on the go and stick it in my car, and I don't mind a dangling USB. But it lasts on its own. It lasts for about a day without charge, so that's pretty good. So that's kind of neat. And then I have my portable one that has that big antenna on it. So I haven't bought the other whip that you suggested.
Mm. Did you have
You
the?
sent
So I sent you the Heltec V3, and I sent you the tracker.
T1000.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I bought a Heltec V4, and I got some case for it, and I didn't use the battery that came with the V3 kit, but I used it with the V4 kit in that case, and because the V3 is just sort of attached to my window right now, with the larger antenna, and then is dangling off the window to a surge protector that has USB on it, so it's powered permanently through that process. Obviously until I lose power, but yeah. So anyhow, that's a thing right now, and playing with it, and it's getting improved. They're making some improvements. One thing I hate about the Meshtastic software, on Android, is that the emoji selector sucks.
Yeah.
I would like to be able to search, right?
Yep.
This is reaction emojis, not you typing a response. That comes from whatever the phone, and I have my search right there, so that's nice. And so like if I want to, say yum or throw a specific thing, but like the emoji selector in the app just sucks. It does no search. Now I know that they've canned the Unicodes and whatever it is for reaction, right? But I wish it was better, right?
Yep.
And that's the kind of part of it that kind of sucks. The other thing is, when I created the V4, I had configured it using the I tried it. I connected up to my PC instead of configuring it through the phone. I configured it, connected by USB-C via serial on my desktop when I had it all out and about. Because the thing that sucks about that is I need to pull the pins on the battery. I have to open the fucking thing up. Then I have to flip it over, and I have to like carefully manage the where running cables underneath with antenna and some other bullshit, and then I have to pull the power, then connect it up to serial, then do the upgrades on it, and it's like a pain in the ass. So the last two iterations of updates, I haven't updated it yet because I just it's such a pain, so it's a little behind on that one, but
so for the portable nodes I usually have a switch in between the battery, so I can turn the battery on or off. So it makes it easier.
You have a whole box where there's like lots of room for things. There's no room in this little mobile case. Everything.
Well, and having a 3D printer really helps with like getting as many.
Yeah, I'm sure you could print yourself out something better.
Yep.
Yeah. So. That's anyhow. So that was where I was going with is when I configured it via serial, I was able to like even control the Bluetooth name and like whatever. And so when I go look in Meshtastic, it's not like Meshtastic A17G, like it says what I wanted it to be in terms of a short name, underscore the last four digits of the of its Bluetooth, right? As tradition on these things anyway. So I was like, okay. And so now I go in and I see these weird names, and like I know what the first one is, goes to the V3, and the other one goes to, or actually it doesn't go to the V3 anymore. It goes to the tracker. And when originally before I switched the V3 over to network only, I can't remove it from the Bluetooth list. Another thing I fucking hate about the Meshtastic software. Let me manage some of that shit, right? Let me take that off the list, right? Let me manage that. There's just like little things that they have in their Android software that just like irritate me. Those are the two things right now that I have most complaint about. Yeah. So, anyhow, otherwise pretty cool. You keep sending me things like, oh, you should run this too at home. I don't have a home lab yet.
No, but like
everyone's like,
we get to this,
all these things I could run Jellyfin and Proxmox, and I could do all this stuff, and I turn all this stuff. Like, I have no human time in the world to watch all the TV shows I love.
Good thing you don't need a home lab for that. You can just run it. It's just you can download the Meshyness app, the thing that I was linking to you to, which is just something you can run on your computer. So you can connect to your node instead of using the phone. You can just use this as a client for Meshtastic.
Oh, interesting. Can I do it with the Bluetooth
Mesh monitor,
as well?
Same way. What?
Yeah, so this is the, I think it was the thing that was bothering me.
It also does, Meshyness also does Bluetooth.
It does, right. Yeah, I figured that. So what I was going with this is, the thing that irritates me is I can only run the client software from running Serial, because there's no HTTPS going on in terms of the web serving.
But
on
if you
the
use
actual nodes.
if you use Meshyness, you can just use it without HTTPS.
Okay, great. Because I like the client in the web browser, and I would like to be able to type from my web browser and not just stuck on the phone. Not that I'm having great conversations. It's mostly, good morning, ping test number 1, sequence number 32. Like, and it's kind of irritating because you wake up and it's just like, ping test. Yeah, I got it. I received it in this town. Like, okay, fantastic, guys. But like, what's the point of being on this thing if you aren't going to fucking have conversations?
It's also telemetry and stuff, right? So it's not just conversations, and it's kind of the thing.
It depends.
When I have there's also something called Meshcore. The problem here in the Netherlands has been you'll see that in the video that I'm going to link in a bit, but there's like some sort of effort to astroturf the thing. It's like getting like what is good about Meshtastic versus Meshcore versus or what's good about Meshcore versus Meshtastic. It's like there's like a whole mythologies and stuff behind it. People who are just making up stories about why Meshtastic is bad or why Meshcore is bad. I have my own reasons why I choose Meshtastic over Meshcore.
But we've seen this before, right? Mac versus PC, Linux versus Windows.
Yeah, this is worse because there's time.
This is just a new version.
This is worse because there's radio people involved, and radio people are very, very interesting people.
Ham radio people are right. Yeah, they're very not evolved, just behind the times of how they like things.
I wouldn't say that. Send all hate towards Alan in this case. It's just they're very particular, and I don't want to deal with them.
I very early on in Apple Club, these were guys in their 40s, right? Dorks, and that's what the Apple Club was. And I just happened to be one of a few kids or preteens or teens, in the Apple Club. But there was one guy, he was an amateur ham radio person. He was very much into it. But just like how he was, Apple II, no, there wasn't much. Mac wasn't even around then. Maybe the first Mac was around. Would have been somewhere in the 80s. But my point is that, like, very particular, I've met these ham radio people. I've met more than one of them. They're very particular kind of personalities. I'm sure it's not much different in current day.
Anyway, so when you go on Meshcore here, it's like somebody says the word test and they just go ballistic, and they're like, "Oh, but you have a special test channel for that. Go to the test channel." And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I get it. I understand there's a bunch of people, especially during holiday time. I saw a surge of new people show up, and it's like, test, sequence, test, ping, 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 ping. And I'm like, great, guys, but, then you just wake up to that, and it's just like an endless amount of that from all night. And then I just ignore some people, and I said, "Hey, bud, I'm going to ignore you. I appreciate that you're doing a test. We can all hear you. We can all hear you. You don't have to keep doing that." Or they had connected up to some code, and they're fucking with it, right? I totally get it.
Yeah,
But
there was somebody here
go
who
switch
put
off to a
a
different channel, and then fuck around over there where no one's listening, and then come back. Right? You're on the long fast. You're in the most public part of it. Just So I went and I wrote a thing a couple of days ago. It's like, hey, everyone who is doing their test and is getting on board with the mesh, welcome. If you can see this, you are receiving this. That's your test. It's working. Right? And it's just, and I see morning, 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 morning. There's a lot of one way. I post a thing, but you haven't in 2 milliseconds responded to me. So therefore, I don't talk again. Ever. Right? And I was like, okay. I don't, maybe it's just local community stuff. Occasionally there's like one guy who's real close to me. Guy, girl, I have no idea. And they'll respond to me when I say good morning or something. We'll talk to each other in replies. But he's like real close. I mean, even his name is very unique to the area, right? Most of the time, the people you get to see is, I'm flying in from Atlanta. I'm flying over Philadelphia. Can y'all hear me? There's those people. I don't, they're maybe a pilot. I don't know. But there are people, at least thankfully they're on client mute. But they have a bunch of those people who come in by flights, and they like to test out the waters and say hello to everyone as they're flying by at 200 miles an hour. I'm like, okay. You're not
yeah, we
gonna
get
actually
those
talk
too
to
once
back
in a while.
anyone.
And we get balloons.
Yeah,
People
okay.
attached to balloons or drones, and they fly up high. So there's one guy in your neighborhood who's like at 364 meters high, and he's like got so many connections to other locations in the area.
Is it an 8 tick attic or whatever?
No.
He's a router. That person is a router in Bryn Mawr. Do you know what's
Bryn Mawr base?
Okay, yeah, I don't know. There was they say Bryn Mawr, but Roxborough is like the peak area where they put all the antennas. Mm. So if there's an antenna tech or something that puts one up,
So what you can do is you can turn on the in the Meshtastic thing. You can turn on the neighbors. Then it will report to the mesh map. So if you go to meshmap.net, you can see who are your neighbors. So you can see who are connected to you. But if you use like something like Meshsense, which I put into the list, you can also see who are your neighbors. But I would recommend, if you use Meshsense, that you turn off the automatic trace routes, because that will muck up your network.
Yeah, I don't think I have it on unless it's on by default.
If you download Meshsense, you install Meshsense. You go into the settings and you turn off the trace route.
Got it.
Because otherwise it's going to be very difficult for you.
Yeah. I mean, I look at the node map all the time, and then, it's... Okay, hold on. No, I don't want that document tabs. I was just going to go into it as I was trying to switch off here.
Anyway, so you can connect to your... so there's two applications. One is called Meshsense. You can run on your computer. You can also run it like headless on a Linux machine. But on the computer, it basically just behaves like a client, and you can let it run over your network, or you can run over Bluetooth. It works really well. And then there's Mesh Monitor, which is over network, and you can run it on like a Raspberry Pi or something like that. I think Mesh Monitor also runs on a PC.
Either way, for a lot of these things, I would prefer to like build a small home lab. I don't need to have too complicated of a cluster, or if I ever upgrade the NAS and then I swap out the drive, into a bigger, beefier Ugreen or something like that. um, you know, I can I can start running some containers. But I mean, it's I don't know if I can run everything. Right, there just has to be supported, or I have to put TrueNAS on it or something like that. It has to be supported build for TrueNAS.
It's just a Docker container. It's
Right.
fine.
Yeah.
So Mesh Monitor is just for on a server. So you run it locally, and then you log into it over the network.
Yeah, the only thing that, it'd have to be able to do Bluetooth plus the network. Yeah.
No. It goes over Wi-Fi. So you have your. Do you have your?
No, I mean talking to the nodes. I have mostly two on Bluetooth, one on that Wi-Fi.
Okay, so the one on the Wi-Fi you can connect to something like Meshsense or Mesh Monitor.
Okay.
And Mesh Monitor is the only thing it can only connect over network, but Meshsense can connect over Bluetooth and over Wi-Fi.
Right.
However, if you have Wi-Fi enabled, you cannot use Bluetooth.
Yeah, I understand that. That's a limitation of the node, physical node software.
Yep. Anyway, so I've been playing with Meshsense and I've been playing with Mesh Monitor. It's been pretty useful to see what's going on in my network.
Yeah.
There were a lot of like old nodes around. What I also seen is that there's lots of people who are still running on like 2 firmware versions behind. So there was stuff that was still in the history of the node list, and there's stuff that was just because they're old Meshtastic nodes. I think at some point Meshtastic needs to like make a break with like the old nodes and just disable or like.
Yeah, I need to take the sort of heavy duty the V4 one, and I just need to update it. I just like after a certain point I was like, I'm gonna take this thing. I also have to glue the little metal slugs that have the threads for the 3D plastic case that I bought. I need to kind of glue those in and make sure it doesn't I put the right amount so it doesn't get, doesn't ooze around the side of it into the threads and stuff. So it doesn't super glue the threads. But anyhow, so I gotta take that thing apart, pull the battery so I can fucking update it to the latest, beta.
Yep. There's also, I would recommend you not go to the latest beta, but go to the Alpha 7.16, not the 17. The 16 has been working pretty well for me with the Heltec V4 and Heltec V3. And also on the nodes I've been running on 7.16 Alpha.
Can I see what the firmware version is in the settings?
Yeah, if you go to the Android, you open up the Android and you go to your connection.
I'm in the settings for my main one.
Yeah, so you connect to it.
Yeah.
And then once you're connected, it will show you the version at the top. So connected device, and you see firmware version.
Oh, okay, I see it there. Yeah, in the connection list. Okay, yeah, so I'm on 2.7.15.5.6.7b blah 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 blah.
Yeah, so the 2.7.16 has been more stable for the Heltec V4 and V3.
Oh, okay.
For me,
so the
at least.
V3, the V4 is behind, and the T1000. So whenever I did the updates, I did the T1000 and the V3 because it's easy. It works without me having to, I just have to pull the device. The thing is, I did this suction cup thing, for the T1000. I think I need to do that for the V3 so I can just suction cup it because I have some double stake, some stuff they use in Hollywood. It's called Joe's Sticky Stuff. They hang pictures on sets and stuff with it. So I have that connected to the antenna and the window, but maybe I need to buy a couple more of those plastic sleds with suction cups and just do it that way.
Do you what do you have it set to? Which role?
What do you mean? Oh, it's just in client mode.
Oh, so everything is in client?
The one that's fixed to my window is in client mode.
Okay.
The one that's on house power. One's in client mode. The other two are in client mute.
Okay, that's good.
Because they're meant for mobile purposes, even though they have been just sitting just sitting at the window.
Yeah, so there's also client base. That's another option. It's like
What's the
for
difference between that and?
so that's usually for like if you're in the attic or something, you stick one in the attic, and it's for your local mesh. So it's not
Oh,
really like a router, but it's like it's meant as like um everything that's in its favorites. So you put your own device in its favorites, and then it will prioritize redistributing the messages from there, from those
got it.
machines.
Interesting.
So,
No, I mean I use that as when I'm in the house. That's the one I'm really checking in with by default, communicating with. The other two are one, the tracker. You gave me the tracker. I was planning on. I had bought the V4 with the GPS, but you got this, so now I have a spare. So it's nice, and I can put in my jacket. It's much easier than the other one with the big antenna. Um, yeah, so I don't know what I'm doing with either of them really yet. I haven't really had any situation where was sort of on the go with them either.
anyway, so let me share some links really quickly. There's Mesh Monitor, Polymatic link slash 1LJ. That is for something for on your machine,
Yeah,
for on a home lab. And then there's Mesh Sense, Polymatic link slash 1LK. And then $150 solar build node build guide 2026, Polymatic link slash 1LL. So if you want to build your own Meshtastic node for on the roof or something like that, we have
right.
solar power. That'll be interesting. Yeah, I think that'll be a good project. It's not super expensive, but if you there's like hobbyists around that will sell you a node.
Right. Yeah.
Just be very careful with what you buy and know how it works and how it's put together. So there's
There
no.
are there are some like even Rack Wireless or Rack or whatever it is, RAK.
Mm-hmm.
Even Heltec, they have like ones you can just buy the whole thing.
Yep.
They're meant to be on a pole or something attached to something outside.
Yep.
I haven't gotten to that place yet where I want to attach to my gutters or on my roof or anything like that. Um, yeah, I'm not sure I'm there yet. I'm not that vested. You're vested. I'm not that vested. Um, I don't have I'm not the highest. I'm sort of like up on the hill, but I'm not the highest point in the area either. So right
As
now
long as you
that
don't set it yourself to router, you're fine.
yeah. So the one I have just sitting here that's sort of at the window is at one of the high points of the area because my house is this third floor is basically a very big attic
Hmm.
that's finished. So by design, that's what they did when they built this place. So
Yeah. So over here the snow has been bothering me because of the me having to go out and replace batteries on nodes. It's been
because
quite
they're
a bit
getting
of a
cold
pain.
soaked. Yeah.
Yeah, the batteries die
Do
and
you have
whatever.
a?
It's
You don't have a like a heating solution or anything for that?
for those
Warm.
though. This it's like a small board with a battery in it. I'm not gonna waste time power on heat. So
Mm,
yeah.
okay.
Yep.
I mean, these are things that people have solved these problems for bigger systems or solutions, but
Mm.
I'm sure someone's got a way of like doing that, right? To keep a battery at temp or warm or whatever it is.
Yeah. Well, usually within the
The price range,
if it doesn't go like minus 10 degrees Celsius, it
fine.
will be fine. The last couple of days have been pretty cold. Yeah. So
Yeah. You
that
can. I mean, can you like thermally like put a thermal jacket or something on it?
no, the cases are usually fine. It's just that at some point the sun it gets blocked by snow, so there's no charge coming in, and then it goes
Oh,
fast.
right.
Especially
Okay,
with
got it.
the rec 11,310 boards. They are basically Raspberry Pi Nanos, I think.
Yeah.
So they're pretty energy hungry, but there are some other ones that are coming in. I have 4 of them coming in, but the postal service has been a disaster last couple of weeks because of holidays and the snow that's been happening here. We had like a foot of snow, something. So
The snow does not affect my local. So my town, even though it was next door where I was living, is bigger town. This is like maybe 5,000-6,000 people is the population. It's just a town jammed between other towns. Um, I don't. I have a feeling that when they used to have maybe 3-4 people work at the post office, there's like probably 1 or 2. There's probably one person who stays at the post office and another one that does all the deliveries. Because I get here in the U.S., there's a thing called informed delivery you can sign up for, and the post office, USPS, will tell you, what's in the network and what's heading your way for your address. So I can get a sense of when packages are in network and coming, and I'll get them, and then 4 days later, that thing will show up in my inbox.
yeah, so I've been getting my notifications for my packages being delivered, and then it turns out that they get sent to some place way on the other side of town, which I have to go through a large amount of snow to get there.
Okay, got it.
Because everything is blocked and the snow sucks.
Are they getting delivered to the wrong place, or are they just getting delivered?
Well, they
to
say
like
they say it's been delivered to something local, and then you go there, you type in the fucking code, and then it opens up a little box, and there's nothing in the fucking box. So then you have to go all the way back to a different location,
like Amazon.
Call them up and
deliveries
say,
into
"Hey,
a
it
locker.
should be here," and then it's not there, and then
Got it.
you have to go like play some sort of like I don't know, treasure hunt to find your fucking package. And I like to say, PostNL, you suck.
Not stupid.
Yep. And I've been dealing with that for the last couple of weeks, and I have a package coming from Amazon from China. So it's like a Lilico pager, and it's been stuck in. It went to customs.
Yeah.
But it came out of customs on the 29th of December. It's now the 11th of January.
So,
and I still haven't gotten it. So,
in my experience, at least when I get things, especially if it's coming through Amazon, through something I know it's coming out of China, they say, oh, it's going to be delivered on this day. Okay, whenever I ordered it, I can expect the next day is when transaction of like shipping whatever starts at the earliest. And then I just plot 3 weeks from that. And that is the minimum amount of time before I can expect it to surface.
Yeah.
That's how I set it up. Now, if it's something that is, what they have a tendency to do is they'll just ship a whole bunch of stuff and it'll be in an Amazon stocking or a smaller stocking location or something. So for example, if Liligo is smart, they'll have a warehouse where they pay not Amazon, but they pay somebody else that is a third-party logistics company.
Well, it came through Dutch customs, so it's probably not the smart one then.
Right. Yeah.
Because I ordered it on the 22nd of December, which of course, it's really close to Christmas, but like it doesn't matter for international shipping, especially from China.
Yeah.
So it was sent here. It was sent to. It came through customs. It was checked okay at customs. And on the 29th, I got a notification saying, "Hey, it's been gone through customs," and then nothing.
Then it goes into.
I've got a track and trace from PostNL saying, "Hey, there's a package coming. We haven't received it yet."
Yeah.
So I think
I've had those where it takes a day or two sometimes.
It's been like this for 2 weeks.
Yeah. So give it another 2 weeks.
Yeah. I hate
fun.
it so much. Yeah.
It's not fun. I mean, again,
and
it's
even
good
packages,
that I see things are in motion and that have some status on stuff. So that's nice, right? It's interesting to know Amazon says it's one thing and then I get the informed delivery, and I'm like, I have no fucking idea what that package is. No
Yeah.
idea, but it's coming. And then the status of the email. Sometimes you can match up the number. And they're like, oh, okay, got it. That's here in the U.S. What we'll do is it'll come through, let's say FedEx or UPS, and instead of them doing the direct delivery, they'll hand it off to the post office, and the post office will do the final mile delivery.
So
Then it adds an extra day or two of delay.
So I ordered the package, ordered the boards for the rack wireless ones, the 4631 rack 4631, I think. There's a lot more energy efficient, so I ordered 4 of them. They finally got in stock again, and I ordered it last week. And I got a notification on Friday saying, "Hey, it will be it's at the pickup point." So I was getting ready to pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
Then I got another notification. It's on its way. And then I heard nothing.
Right, okay.
So it was at the pickup point, but then it wasn't. And I think that PostNL have been having lots of problems with their system because they've been probably been trying to let AI decide stuff. And it's been a pain in the ass. Even their communication with them is like terrible. And yeah.
I bought for a gift for someone. I bought them a Rode NT Mini, right? That USB microphone that's really good, just to have as like a podcasting device or whatever it is. And in years past, I bought him a Snowball mic, but that thing is just sort of not great by comparison anymore. And he does like a podcast with some of my overlapping friends. And he's just using like a crappy, gaming headset thing, right? The mic on that thing is terrible. And so I was like, all right, I'll buy that as a gift. So I went and I ordered from someplace, and it was like there was like a difference. I saw 2 listings. One was like $129, it was $135. I was like, all right, I'll do the $129. It has everything I need. Great, fantastic. And it took forever. And once they finally shipped it, then whoever the shipper was, some kind of like fly-by-night company, I didn't even know who it was. It was like, undeliverable. We lost your package. And I was like, well, I ordered this well ahead before holiday time. But I was like, all right, well, if you're not going to deliver it to me, well, fucking Amazon cancel this. And they're like, well, what's the reasoning? Package never arrived. They say it's undeliverable. And it's like, oh, we can't cancel it, something. And then something in the system was like got fucked up, and all of a sudden they're like, okay, we canceled it, we refunded you. I don't see where that credit went, but then what happened is they found the package, and then they found it and it went through DHL, and it made its way here. I was like, okay. But, in my patience, I bought the $135 one, which showed up in 2 days. Like perfect, natural, whatever. And the only difference is that one came with like a cable that Rode has. That's like a USB-C cable. So that's like, great. So now I have the spare one. And I was like, oh, I'll just leave it as a spare. But then the person didn't make their way to New Year's this year. And so I'm now just going to, I took the gift back, and I'm just going to box it and send it to him. I have to text him and say, hey, what's your address? Because I'm going to just send you your gift. But I think I'm going to send them both mics, because what am I going to do? I mean, it's nice to have a spare, but then I'm just going to be having a spare forever.
Maybe you can hook this up to your PC.
I mean, I have one.
Instead of the board.
No, I have one that's connected up to my PC, but then, I wouldn't be able to do it through this natural way that we're doing it. Where I can record it in 2 places with ASIO.
Okay. I've got one more thing for the Meshtastic thing. So Ben Jordan, I've linked him before. There's another video from him in the fun stuff. It's a video called Gadgets for People Who Don't Trust the Government. It's Polymatic/1li. It is a bit, you know, in some places it's a bit much, but yeah. So his take on Meshtastic is pretty good. Polymatic/1li, not y. 1li.
As in internet.
Internet, yes. Okay. So, do you want to go over the fun stuff?
Yeah,
links?
I got one. The rest is you. It's not like it's. I mean, I watch very specific YouTube people. There's really just not a lot of inventive shit happening. It's mostly like podcast talks. Let's talk about a thing. Let's talk about how you were successful, Mr. Beast. Like, there's a lot of that shit in my inbox. And there's a lot less sort of people being creative and doing things. They have chosen easier paths. So for me, I don't have a lot of deep dive links on stuff anymore. And people are coming out with new songs, but like Dodie came out with a new thing, but I'm not fully in love with this music. It's a weird vibe. It's a totally weird vibe. And I'm not in the mood for it, so I don't hate it, but so like she didn't have any shareable links anyways to music videos. So that's why I've been very light on stuff. And even with TikTok, all I have that I bookmark are mostly food things for recipes.
Well, so. And then you come up with a food link anyway.
Eventually, but like this year, I was like, all right, I'm gonna fucking make pasta. I didn't even tell you about like some shit that I got this year or stuff I gave myself, as gifts for 2025. But I think I'm gonna figure out how to make pasta. I bought a little pasta machine. I didn't buy a KitchenAid yet. I'm not there yet.
Maybe you should get a lathe that you can make your own pasta maker. Pasta.
I
machine.
saw there's a couple TikTok channels. This one guy, the Pasta Man, he uses real basic things that have like that he can create particular pasta where you just hand roll it, right? You don't need a whole pasta machine.
What happened to what's his face? French
Alex?
guy cooking.
Yeah, he went off a whole. He was doing semolina, was his sort of, which is the appropriate thing for most dry pastas. And I thought about going back and watching some of his stuff.
Yeah, he hasn't posted it in a year.
I think he's been posting mostly on his Patreon, I think, and not so much publicly on YouTube. There was a point where I supported him on Patreon, but then he was, he wasn't putting out a lot of content that quickly. It's been a moment. I haven't seen anything in my feed, but just because I haven't seen it in my feed doesn't mean that he's not putting out content.
Since 2023.
YouTube is like, oh, you haven't watched Alex the French guy in like 8 months. Yeah, because he didn't put out a thing. Oh, well, he put something out last month, but we are not going to show it to you because you haven't taken interest in him in 8 months. Like,
well, he actually hasn't posted it in a year.
Oh, okay. Either way, I had a thought about checking out all his stuff. But anyhow, I got just like $100. I bought this motorized, where it latches on an accessory, and I think it literally takes the same accessory, like whatever that mechanism is that it clicks into. I think is the same one for KitchenAids. But I don't have a KitchenAid, so I haven't been able to chance to evaluate that. But my point is, if it is compatible, and I buy a KitchenAid somewhere in my future, whatever the KitchenAid accessories are will also work on this thing. But it was $100, and it allows me to make fettuccine spaghetti, and I don't know what the other one is. It's just a plain old dough roller.
Anyway, with the thing I was referring to was actually this old Tony when he made the French guy cooking's. He fixed his pasta machine.
Oh yeah. And then when he made him a machine.
Well, he fixed one first, and then he made one.
Then he made one, and then what did he do? He connected up to a hand drill, and he did some shit to it. He hacked it. Anyhow, that's not what this link is about. Those future links maybe. So this was one where a bunch of chefs blind taste test every instant ramen. Polymatic.link/1L as in Larry, G as in grand. There you go. That's it. That's my one link.
Okay,
It was
so
interesting. There's a whole bunch of ramen there that I didn't know about. So,
yeah, I'm
anyway.
trying to stay away from the ramen.
I will do it every once in a while. What I have a tendency to do is I will make it. I will mix other pasta in, then I'll do cheddar cheese, and then I'll cube up various different, like cheddars and mozzarella, and then I make sort of a. I've been doing this sort of cheesy ramen for a long while, and then I grated Parmesan. I sort of zhoosh it up, and then I'll put some meats in there.
Mm.
Make it into like a cheesy ramen soup, and it's really good,
It
but
sounds
it's not
absolutely
healthy.
horrible.
Not healthy. So much sodium in there, but not
Mm.
healthy. But it's tasty. Oh boy, is it tasty!
Okay, so I've got a couple of links. One of them is another one from Ben Jordan. Flock is flocked. They've been putting up cameras, and they've been. I saw a recent video from him update about that with the where the CEO of Flock was sending emails to all sorts of like police departments saying that basically that he was a domestic terrorist. So that's fun. Polymatic link /1LD for Flock is flocked. The flock cameras that you see in American cities everywhere. Basically, they're insecure as frick, and you can with like an old Android phone, you can basically hack these things. And yeah, it's not great.
Wirelessly.
Yeah, you can. Just getting near it would be enough.
Yeah, I just have to park near it.
Was it?
And
You could hack with a stick.
you'd be surprised. Actually, you wouldn't be surprised. Most people would be surprised how insecure a lot of the systems are.
And it's even worse. Like you can most of them you can just reach over the internet. They're just insecure, opened up to the world. You can basically just do Netflix for criminals. It's insane.
Um, uh, there's a whole lot to be said about our banking systems, including international. The way a lot of it works is uh, incredibly, maybe not so accessible, but the protocols are very manipulative. You can manipulate the protocols very easily, much easier than you realize. And so it's a very flawed system, and that's been well known. It's why a lot of banking systems and companies operate mostly on COBOL, and it's very out of date. And there are companies that come in to act as proxies, like Stripe, for example, to modernize some stuff, but their interactions with the financial systems are still going back to out of date, you know, archaic systems that are very, very insecure. So
Very very old stuff.
yeah, and this is not unique to the U.S. This is everywhere in the world. It's really bad.
Yeah, so basically these flock cameras, they're running on a very old version of Android. So basically just Android phones.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, there's lots of stuff. I linked the video in the last podcast as well. He
Yeah,
he did
I
research.
watched
So,
this one. Yeah, it's long. It's interesting, but it's not surprising to me.
yeah, and then the way that they have the hooks in everywhere. I don't think they have them here in the Netherlands. I would be surprised if they would have them here, because a little bit more secure. Well, a little bit more cautious about these things. Still, if I were to see one, I would, yeah, try to get in and report on it.
There was
Anyway,
one of the would have been two jobs if I include the contractor company. Then 3 jobs ago, when I was searching, I got hit up by a couple security companies One of those was a company that made the software that goes into vehicles, police vehicles, the terminals, basically. And how they got into this business, but they're like, you know, from where the office is, I had to sign NDAs and stuff like that. Ultimately, I didn't take that job, um, but that was interesting. And then I got some security company that they basically provide security for very evil people of the world.
Uh-oh.
That's it. That's their business, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you'd have to come to the office a lot." And I'm like, "That's an hour and a half." I very much did. They were very just like, "Yes, we want to hire you." They were just very on board with hiring me, and I was like, "This is very much something I don't." I just told them, my answer to their, this job is that's too much of a cute for me on a daily. It was my answer. But I always felt very uncomfortable working for them and
Yeah.
providing my skills for people that have more money than they should, and aren't from the U.S. I was very uncomfortable working at that place. So it's interesting. I got some insights on some stuff that are local. I
Oh
was not
no.
comfortable with any of that. Though I never heard of Flock, but also I'm not really looking. I don't notice the cameras or anything as I'm driving through the intersection. I'm not paying any attention to that.
So Polymatic.1LD for flock is flocked.
Yeah.
And then there is how an AI art method managed to trick over 100k people. So there is a air quotes artist who was using AI to scam a lot of commissioners. That kind of sucks. Polymatic.1LB for that one. There is an artist named Jazza, and I've heard of him before, and he made a video, and I was like, I think I was following him, and then I unfollowed him because of his take on AI. That was like years ago. So he came back to it, and he came back and ate crow. Polymatic.1LC. I'm still not convinced he is honest about this, but maybe he can get that honesty back at some point or whatever.
There are
One
creators who,
LC.
yeah, one LC, yeah. There are creators who they start off, earnest, and then they make a lot of money from it, and then they realize that the key to perpetuating and keeping this income, and they're all in because they've quit jobs or whatever it is for this. Then now they're chasing and repeating and regurgitating, or they're intentionally creating misleading miscommunication to create reactions from people that they're dishonest, right? And they're the same thing with food reviews, like, oh my god, the greatest thing whatever, blah 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 blah, and then you go, it's like, and then they say, oh yeah, I was given a free meal to give my review, right? And but then you go to that place and go, no, it's not good. Like, they say it with a happy face because they make a lot of money doing that, right? Influencers, right? So sometimes people have their shtick, and they have to like eat crow because it's now going to get attention and it's going to be profitable for them, right? You don't really understand what their real belief is because most people don't hold to an actual stance. When they get into that, you really get into the grind of it.
There was an artist. He goes by the name Ross Draws, and he got exposed using AI last year, and he basically got. I think he got bullied off the internet, and I think maybe good.
There's a lot. I don't think most artists are honest. There's a lot more people using tools, they'll call it tools, that are AI driven and have been. This isn't a new thing. This has been going on for decades. I should have mentioned this obviously with the music industry. There's a lot of dishonesty in that environment. People have been using AI stuff for a long while. It
Yeah, but
isn't anything new.
it really depends on what you call AI, right? So if you have like a generative fill, that is definitely on that level, right? So if you were to extend something using generative AI, it sucks. That's bad.
Yeah,
That's a
that
bad idea.
happens all the time
But
in the
that
photo
hasn't been around
industry.
for that long, right?
No, content fill and stuff like that that was using AI models. Adobe wouldn't tell you that, but that was how they were getting their tooling.
Yeah, but that
Um,
hasn't been along for that long.
More than 10 years.
But spot fill is not this.
No, not spot fill. I'm talking about that context stuff or whatever it is, and they had some context fill stuff, right? They Adobe has had that for more than like 15 years, and that is based on very early primitive AI models. Now they get to expose it that it's AI because that's marketable, but that's how they were achieving that. Um, a lot of our Google searches, most of our Google searches, how like YouTube was having such trouble with searching or prioritization. It's all has been sort of, they've been using AI not as complex as they are now trying to be competitive with open AI, but like that's what we've been using for a long time. And they're all running through AI models. They were just more primitive. So and in music generation area before you jump on it, Spotify has been just sort of filling the void with a bunch of bullshit artists, and they've been generating them,
I
and
hate
there's
it.
no royalties for them in that. They have a couple artists internally working the company, and they generate all kinds of fake artists and put out fake filler stuff for lo-fi and all those vibe channels. Yeah, it's a very high percentage of not real artists. So
Yeah, lots of garbage.
yeah, and
Anyway,
it's not been going on like in the last couple of years since AI has been hot. It's been going on for way longer than anyone will admit because it's not profitable.
so next one is there was the Chaos Computer Club event in Germany on I think it was December. I think it was December, yeah. So there was a talk from one of the people from Signal. I think two people from Signal,
Hmm.
called AI Agent, Agent Spy, AI Spy. Polymatic links is 1LH for that one. That's about, you should be careful about what you're running on your machine, but then again, how much can you really protect yourself from that if, the OS is inserting garbage into your system? So that this kind of sucks. So Polymatic links is 1LH for that one. And then to fun things, every Lego spaceman color. Polymatic link / 1LE and 1LF.
Yeah,
Spaceship.
it made me think about, and I gave most of that stuff to Python, but I had red spaceman, I had blue spaceman, I had a black one, surprisingly, white ones, and I had a ton of the gray ones because those were the most common. I had all those. I didn't have any the new fangled purple, green, pink,
I
orange. I
had
don't.
I recently got the kit of all the different space figures you can get. Like there was like a box you can get with
Oh,
all the different models, and
yeah.
you could just buy them pre-sorted um, from the local Lego store because they would get like a box and open them up and then sell the sets complete because you
Hmm.
could get so many inside of a box. Yeah, so I have a bunch of those at home. Actually, no, I put them at the office because we have a bit of a space theme at the office. So
Yeah,
put them
I
there.
always liked. I had more than one black one, and I don't. I always liked the space kits. Again, I was getting them as I was a little kid. So I had more than one black one. I always disliked I didn't like the blue ones, or the white ones, or the red or blue ones. I didn't like them. I just preferred the gray or black. It just seemed more astronaut themed for me, personally. But yeah, no, I had a whole bunch of that stuff. I don't know. Before I gave all that stuff to Matt, I made myself a spaceship. I don't know if I still have it here. I don't know if I put an astronaut in it or not. I had to go look. If I have something, I'll send you a picture of it. But I don't. I probably didn't put a guy in there.
Hmm.
And I think maybe I only had one that had a visor. I think there was
Okay.
only one. But it made me think about like, oh, how many did I have from classic kits? Because I used to buy all the space. Oh, I didn't buy. I as a kid, I always had the space ones, and my sister had a bunch that she didn't like. My father bought from my sister. She didn't like. I inherited all her super classic ones before me.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
Anything else? Anything fun? Anything to share?
I bought myself a foam couch, one of those that inflate to a couch. It's very comfy. It's reasonably big, but I was paying attention to width and depth, and I was not paying any attention to height. It's too fucking low. So I realized, okay, I just need to buy a real couch. Now I can take this thing; it's sectional. It's like modular, so I can take it and put it in one of the spare bedrooms and make it like it's a spare bed. You know, if anyone's staying over. It's comfortable. I've napped on it. It's fantastic. But it's only 15 inches from the ground. And then I told you about a pasta machine. I bought an air fryer finally. What else
Hmm.
did I get since we kind of last talked? Um, I don't know. Those are the highlights off the top of my head. I bought a bunch of things. I'm just sort of finally like, I moved into a house. I have a little spare income. Let me spend some money on me. So that's kind of what I've been doing. But
So
now
now
I'm
you're waiting for
recognized.
the next disaster to happen.
Yeah, that's kind of where that's it. And I'm always sort of waiting for the mic to drop. Um, uh, yeah, I, you're gonna hate. I mean, I wrote songs on this.
No, 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 no,
I'm just
no,
saying, I
no,
wrote
no,
songs on these things
no.
as a writing exercise. So yeah, I said my piece on that. But yes, there's that kind of thing where I'm always waiting for it to, you know, just it's a good song, but whatever, you'll never hear it.
Yay.
Yeah. So I like even last night I was looking at IKEA has like an independent kitchen island, but the thing is so expensive. It's $700. Oh,
But you have a
unbelievably
kitchen island,
expensive.
don't you?
Huh? I
You have a
do,
kitchen.
but I just don't like if I get a KitchenAid, I have no place for it on my countertops.
Is it because it's
Um,
full of other stuff?
yeah, yeah. I mean, I have sort of the cold brew things prominent. I can sort of stack them vertically, one behind each other. I don't put them away. I leave them sitting there because I make cold brew all the time. So like I can improve on that. That's not a big deal. But if I was to get a KitchenAid, I don't have the cabinet space or the one that can like dedicate entirely for a KitchenAid, right? I have this pasta machine thing which I could probably put on one of the kitchen carts, but like I don't have a place for it to put away right now since I got it this like on Friday or whatever it was. It showed up, like it's just been sitting on my countertop because I haven't figured out where I'm putting it. So like I need another little kitchen island area that I can hang like pots and pans and put other kitchen appliances away that I don't normally use. I haven't used it in recent days, but I have a griddle just sitting on the one side of my countertop. I could regain that space if I just put that fucker away, but I have no place to put it away to. So like I'm getting to this place where it's like, all right, I need another kitchen island thing. I can put it over there where you normally put like a little eating table for in the kitchen. Like, no, I'll stick it right there. But it's $700,
Hmm. Hmm.
and I'm not sure. I mean, I can check if I can find something cheaper. That's also same equivalent level of quality. So I don't know. Usually IKEA is very affordable, but anyhow, that's it. These are the things off the top of my head that are kind of like new for me for now. So yeah.
Okay. So, Alan, you can find at Polymatic.media/Alan. And me, you can find at Polymatic.media/John. For feedback, you reach at podcast at Polymatic.media and our website, Polymatic.media. You can find all of our links too. And I hope you tune in next time. Haha! No more asking where you are. Just saying.
Just
where you
saying
are.
it. All right, let me stop recording over here. And over here.